And all those people in the park that can hear me, I hope you're listening. This Ocean Reef development is a big, big mistake on every level. It's a mistake environmentally, it's a mistake financially, and it's a mistake socially. Now, I could sit here and say, that's my opinion, but actually it's not. I've done my homework, far more than our major parties have. They haven't done their homework. I have. I've looked, and our group, and there's quite a few of them here who've been working on this for years. We've done our homework. We've looked at the reports. We've looked at the modelling. We've looked at every single thing they've put out, and there is nothing that tells them anywhere that this is a good idea. In fact, it tells them in no uncertain terms that it's a disaster. And as I said, it's not me speaking. This is the science. Now, I want to bring to your attention what's just come out this week from the United Nations, UNEP. I want to read this to you because I think it really hits to the core of what's happening here. It's the UN Secretary, Antonio Guterres. Probably can't even say that right. This is their first report called Making Peace with Nature. It's a scientific blueprint to tackle climate, biodiversity and pollution. And it's based on evidence from scientists, not politicians, not builders, scientists. Here are some of the quotes he says. We have been waging a war on nature. True, fits here. We are over-exploiting and degrading the environment on land and sea. Sound familiar?
Yep.
Governments are still paying more to exploit nature than to protect it. Sounds like this? Absolutely. 5 million we've paid so far from our government to put that. And they're quoting it, they're going to put in another 126 million, but they'll need 900 million from private investors to degrade and lose our natural environment. That really hit home to me. This is what governments should be listening to. Governments must reflect nature's true value in our policies, plans and economic systems. With new consciousness, we can direct investment into policies and activities that restore and protect nature, and the rewards will be immense. It's telling us, scientists of the world, that we need to do this differently. Are they listening to that? No. They're not even looking at their own reports. I'm going to move on to Mullaloo. We know what's happening at Ocean Reef. They're taking out a whole reef system. Unheard of. That should have been the big cross to start with. They're taking out the bush forever. The coastal dune system. Their erosion policy tells them not to. And they're doing it anyway. The science is telling them not to. And they're doing it anyway. They're putting houses on the coast. Nobody does that anymore. We don't build on the coast. We know what happens. The science is there. We can see it here. We can see the erosion. We can see it from Hillary's. What's happened either side of that? It's visible to us now, but they're ignoring it. It's like when I read the EPA report on the marina, and remember, they didn't bother with the bush side of it. They only bothered with the marine side. It reads like something from the marauding Matt from Harry Potter, because they say, this is what they say, it's fine. It's going to be the most environmentally done development ever. And the EPA says, oh yes, it'll be fine. And then you read between the lines. Now bear with me, because I don't know if, they certainly don't know it. The councillors don't know it. The government don't bother with it. These are the sorts of statements that are in that EPA report that are going to affect, that's why we're down here, Mullaloo, because it's not just the Ocean Reef, it's both sides, left and right, forever. Bear with me. Okay. It says in the EPA report, a science report, the existing Ocean Reef boat harbour creates an impediment to the movement of waves, current, seaweed and sediment along the coastline. It does do that. The proposed breakwater extends significantly further than the original, and therefore this sediment's going to be worse in the EPA report. would have been a big cross for me if I'd been looking at that. The EPA notes that the proponents' investigation, that they're going to have metres and metres of sand that they're going to have to remove, left or right. It's in the report. Mullaloo Beach is going to be inundated with sand and seaweed. So is the other side. They're going to have to move it with trucks. And if they can't do that, they're going to have to dump it somewhere. They don't say where. These are in the EPA reports. They know this. And they've gone, oh yeah, it's environmentally safe. It's not. They say, increase. It's going to increase the amount of seaweed in the marina. They're going to be dredging that. I don't know if people knew, but they regularly dredge Hillary's. How much does it cost them? Someone said here they know how much it costs. $1 million every 3 years to dredge it. And they're going, they already know they're going to have to do this. This is going to happen. Let me continue. Yeah, I've got so many pages. I've gone over and over this. Every time I look at it, it's another horror story. I mean, I'm probably talking to the converted. But honestly, this cannot go ahead. It's going to be an environmental nightmare, and it's going to be something that keeps giving and giving. And then on top of that, we're going to put housing there, on the coast. 1,000 of them, right there on the coast, instead of the bush forever. I laughed and I cried when I saw that they'd replanted plants along the road that they'd cleared. Great idea. They just, we'll clear all the bush and then we'll put some little plants that aren't even plants that come from the bush. Did you all see that? You went, yeah, great. All right. I heard, this is what Planning Development WA said. Planning for the Ocean Reef Marina incorporates best practice environmental management, approaches across flora and fauna, marine management, and innovation in green design and sustainability. You don't take out a bush and a reef and do that and say it's a green design. How stupid are we? But again, let's go back. They're not looking at the science. They're ignoring their own things. And I think I know why. I took some quotes from our proponents that love this thing with their life. Emily Hamilton, on her Facebook, being a keen fisher and diver, I could never imagine that I would be delivering the Ocean Reef Marina to Joondalup. Good on you, Emily, you've delivered it. If I had my way, I'd have a plaque down there for future generations. When you're going to complain about that, go and see her. She's delivered it to us. It's personal. Okay, Albert, love him, he's been around too long. He says that the marina is passionate to him and close to his heart because it's gotten him elected 5 times. Oh my God. Yeah. It's his own personal election thing. I've got Ben Wyatt. Oh, this is just the start of local businesses and local workers sharing an expected $3 million injection into the economy in this landmark. Just money. Good on you, Ben. Then he says, the plan respects the site's history, including its Aboriginal heritage. Well, we know we've tried that one. They're sounding pretty ridiculous now. They have a go at that Kirkup thing, but they seem to be knowing much more themselves. And we're excited to be able to continue to engage with the local community, ensuring the development is truly represented by its local area. I've just been along there, not one single person disagreed.
Same as along here.
Same along here. Everyone's going, what are they doing? Even the Sea Sports Club, there's a couple over there. We're in the Sea Sports Club. We're not happy. We love the bush. We love looking over it. Not anymore, darlings. You're going to be looking over in a marina that's going to be full of seaweed and be dredging left, right and centre. Okay, they're not listening. I love this one. Caitlin Collins. Caitlin Collins is the Labor one for this area. I wrote her a letter. Here's what she said. The preservation of our beaches and natural environment is extremely important. I have taken note of your concern and assured you the government is very committed to delivering this project in an environmentally responsible and sensitive way. No idea. No idea. They haven't looked at the science. Our group have been at this. We've been everywhere. We need more people to stand up and go, this is not right. I want you to finish with something that I read about developing from an expert. And let's remember, this is not just my opinion. This is all the reading and all the experts are saying. Hang on, let me find it. Okay. This is from, I think it's a marine scientist from UWA. Once you upset that balance, you can dramatically affect the rate of erosion which occurs on sections of the coast. It's always, and this is a quote from him, he's a marine scientist, it's always a really bad idea to build structures that jut out along the coast. This is going 2 kilometres out into deep water. And it will be a last-ditch effort to do something like that. Natural coastal dunes have been built up over thousands of years and act as a buffer. We take them down. A natural cycle of 100 years can be followed by erosion for another 100 years. If we build structures on that buffer zone, what may be a natural erosive event is going to have a strong impact on those buildings as a buffer. The science doesn't lie. The government isn't listening. I would now like to pass you over to our Greens leader for Hillary's, who apparently has been at this for a very long time. I don't know why we haven't met before, but thank you for coming.